so with us now, Fox Business contributor Lou Basenese, Executive Vice President at PreMarket Operating Company, and Dan Greenhouse is here from Solus Alternative Asset Management. I know you're super into this because, Robert Wolf comes on the program a lot, and he likes to say in debate about inflation and prices that electricity costs have gone way up. Well, I ran the numbers because he said it more than once. Robert, if you're listening, here's the numbers per our brain room. Okay, so under President Trump's second term in office, they're up 5 and a fraction of percent. So for rounding sakes, they're up about 6% under this presidency, a single-digit percent. I look back, and over the Biden years, his 4 years in office, electricity prices are up 30. They were up 30%,
Absolutely.
31% under Biden.
And in states like California, it was closer to 60 to 70%.
Okay, so for those who are asking about it today, where were they then? But now I'll turn it over to you.
They were on the bandwagon of an energy transition away from everything fossil fuels to everything renewables, wind, solar. And if you look, based upon blue or red state, where they leaned into renewables, electricity prices are much higher in blue states because they relied on more new generation coming from solar. So we may see prices rising now and accelerating, thinking that data centers are the scapegoat and the ones that should be blamed. But it's really the policy and the structural changes that we made in the last 10 years to go away from fossil fuels, away from coal, which is even cleaner than it's ever been now. And we see countries like China embracing it. So I think this is a painkiller that needs to be addressed, not just with price caps and digital impact fees for these big tech companies, but a structural change in how we generate power.
And with those prices stubbornly high, Dan, the president is taking that on. Here's a Truth Social on exactly that. He posted this on Tuesday. I never want Americans to pay higher electricity bills because of data centers. We are the hottest country in the world and #1 in AI. Data centers are key to that boom and keeping Americans free and secure, but the big technology companies who build them must pay their own way. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's 3 things in the country that are driving electricity prices up right now. One is EVs, although obviously that's waned a little bit. One is the data centers, and the other is just the electrification and the infrastructure build-out that's going out across the country. But what the president's getting at there is part of his larger push on the affordability front. It's the credit cards, it's the electricity, it's all the items that he's highlighting right now. It's Venezuela and oil, et cetera. He's trying to figure out in front of the midterm elections how to make it seem or actually provide lower prices for consumers. And I think on the data center front, what the president's proposing right now is that an upcoming auction to build additional capacity, since data centers are consuming so much of the electricity in the country, they're going to have to fund new capacity build-outs, which could cost 10, 15, or
Sounds like
more
you agree
billions.
with the president's pitch then. Okay, pay their fair share.
I think you could
pay their own way.
Pro big tech and pro ratepayer, because I mean it's like we saw this with mega residential real estate developments, right? They have to come in, if they're going to be a drain on utility resources, they have to pay impact fees. Why shouldn't big tech do that so the everyday Americans don't bear it?
Meanwhile, as we are in a midterm election year, a big question over tariffs and the impact this will have on not only prices and inflation, but the American voter and how they perceive this situation. Here's President Trump on tariffs and the Supreme Court case.
If you have the wrong president, the countries have tremendous influence over us. If you go back to the 1800s, 1887, we had money, so much money we didn't know what to do with it. But the countries at that time, same, no different. They have a tremendous influence over this country. For whatever reason, I'm the tariff king, and the tariff king has done a great job. And I hope we win the Supreme Court case, because if we don't, be a shame for our country.
All right, Dan, I mean, what's it going to come down to here?
I think the expectation is that, unfortunately for the president, that he's probably going to lose the Supreme Court case. The real question, assuming he does lose 7-2 or something like that, people who follow this stuff feel pretty confident, is the U.S. government going to have to refund all these tariffs that we've collected, or is there going to be some other workaround going forward? Now, admittedly, not admittedly, but in addition, even if the president loses this particular case at the Supreme Court, there's any number of other tariff implementation, Section 232 of this bill, Section 122 of that bill. There's various other ways to replicate the tariffs, even if he does lose. But the president's point is, I'm able to tariff, I'm able to extract concessions from other countries as a result, and it would get more difficult if the Supreme Court ruled against it.
The Supreme Court would be obstructionist, because the president and Scott Bessent have said we have plan B, C, D, and F, E, and F to get around this. I mean, we know that there's going to be tariffs. If two sides have agreed to tariff rates, we're just going to find another way to do it.
Scott Bessent sounds to me like he thinks it's going to go against them.
Yeah.
There you have
I think
it.
they're expecting that. So.
All right, I appreciate the discussion. Thank you so much. Tell your son I said go Tigers. All right, John.